The Hangar Z podcast welcomes Deputy Nicholas Romano of the Broward County Sheriff's Office.
And so we have that misunderstanding first and foremost that some people want to say UAS is here to replace manned aviation.
Yeah.
It's not the same at all. What it is another air support tool, but first and foremost, it's that Venn diagram, right? It's that overlap.
Welcome to the Hangar Z podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts and partnered with Vertical Valor magazine. Today's episode was recorded on the floor of APSCON 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona at the Vertical Valor Hangar Z booth. Each year, the Airborne Public Safety Association presents awards in a wide variety of categories. We were lucky enough this year to record with a couple of those recipients, which includes our guest today. Deputy Nicholas Romano is a 25-year veteran of the Broward County Sheriff's Office and is the recipient of this year's Unmanned Aerial Systems Award. Nicholas serves as the UAS coordinator for his department and has firmly established himself as a subject matter expert throughout Florida. We discuss his tech background as an investigator, what drew him into the UAS world, the value of the UAS unit working under a manned air support unit, how UAS units are evolving, manned and unmanned integration, and what the future of UAS looks like in law enforcement. Thank you again for the support of the Hangar Z podcast. Check out the other podcasts on the Vertical Helicast platform, which includes the Real Rescue podcast, the Helicopter podcast, the Valor Flight Crew podcast, and the Vertical MRO podcast. Thank you to our sponsors, Becker Avionics USA, Wysong Enterprises, and Onboard Systems Hoist and Winch.
Welcome to the Hangar Z podcast, brought to you by Vertical Helicasts. The Hangar Z podcast is the first and only podcast dedicated to promoting and exploring the personnel and equipment behind the missions in public safety aviation.
Still southbound, skidding to a stop. Stand by here. Looks like you're getting ready to bail. Heads up, guys, bailing. Okay, the guy, he's running through the house, jumping the fence, through the shotgun, through something out. Grabbing the shotgun. Don't go over that fence. Don't go over that fence. Grab the shotgun again. He is armed. Stay there. Hold your position.
It's time for your Heli Life giveaway buzzword. Listen up and remember this word, because you'll need it to enter for a chance to win exclusive Heli Life gear. Ready? This episode's buzzword is checklist. Visit contest.verticalhelicasts.com to enter the buzzword.
How does Broward County do this? Does your SWAT team have their own little drones, and within the SWAT team they operate them, or are you going out and doing that?
We're doing it.
You are?
Yeah.
Is so, that it? Let's talk about future. And if you had a magic wand,
hold on.
would you want would you want SWAT guys to be part of your cadre, that they handle the SWAT stuff, or do you like the fact that it's kind of separate? You come to support them.
So we did that originally.
Okay.
Out of those 40-something operators, remote pilots, we had several operators from SWAT that joined, got their Part 107s, started doing the stuff, but they got things to do.
Sure they do.
And most of them are geared a little different than aviation safety. They're very much the get-it-done mindset, and they've got a job to do. And having to worry about flight logs and airspace authorizations and all that, it's not, that shouldn't, in my opinion, that shouldn't be something that one of our operators is having to worry about, right, on the SWAT team. So
they've got enough boxes to check right now.
Yeah, they've got things to do.
That's a really good philosophy. So, it's interesting that you answered that way. I'm glad
I like supporting the mission, and I do everything I can to meet with them. And I'll tell you what, one of the benefits of shrinking down to 3 for that interim time till I could purchase new stuff was that they saw my face on everything. And so I got to know them, and it all comes down to relationships. We talk about that, right? Yeah. And having that has really, I think, increased how comfortable they are, getting to know me, and getting to an idea about how I'm training my guys so that when they go and do that. And I'm real careful on all of it right now, right? So my guys that I've added on to the unit, and I say guys because we haven't added any girls yet. I got some in the new interviews process coming up, but I haven't given them interiors yet, because that's a whole nother thing, and I don't want to add a risk to operators that are conducting, high-risk missions as it is. But in supporting that mission, I train to go, hey, you need to be a voice-activated drone. That interior mission, that's all you are. I want you to get what your team leader needs, when they need it, from where they need it. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's if we do it that way. I've been doing a lot. There's so many things, technology out there where you can watch a streaming one, you can flip this out, you can do this, all this cool stuff. And I go, why don't you just get with the team leader and let them look over your shoulder? They'll handle the radio comms, and he'll tell you left, right, or check that.
Yeah.
If we get that done and you're getting the service you want, so far it's been working out great, right? We're each one of our search warrants, I got an exterior team of 2 that are flying that Overwatch mission, and then we'll do everything we can to stick that interior up there with the team and where that team leader wants it in his plan. It may be a rear trail in coming up to armor. It may be some of the structures, it's up number 3 or 4 in the stack with them because you're going to need it for the signal, whatever they need. Put it in your plan, we'll make it happen. And if you do that, it should work out pretty good with the team of them getting the reps and getting the training and trusting you, building that relationship, and being able to do that.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Cool. Yep.
One of the things that I think of is you talk about the collateral duties. You know, we have a lot of aviation programs, including my own, and you do it. And LA didn't as much. I don't think you did at all. Where you had somebody who was a TFO as a collateral duty, and they'd come up, and you'd make some progress as far as your abilities as a TFO. You'd go back to patrol, and you'd forget half of what you learned. And it was this constant, take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. How do you, as drone operators, what's best practice? And I know it's different for everybody, but how do you get to a position where we've got the one, yourself in a full-time position? What advice do you have for folks to kind of combat that?
That's hard. It really is, because it all comes down to, we all work in a budget, right? You're confined by what's possible, and it's always competing values.
Yeah.
So if your agency can, or if they're willing to, if you're producing the mission set, my philosophy all the way through has been, do everything you can for the task you're given. And if you put it, that's really where it starts. If this is something you believe in, or you are in charge of at your agency, don't worry about where you want to get to necessarily. Worry about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just put all your effort into a good job at your task, hopefully the rest will follow. And that's what I'd like to be able to see is that if as it grows, people just see it. It doesn't always happen, but it happens more than you'd realize, is that when people start seeing, like, that's the person that actually is making it happen and getting it done and cares, you might open up some doors.
Yeah. Love it.
Wow.
Sorry, I've been spitballing all these questions. It's just natural curiosity. Driving these.
Absolutely.
So that's what we do here. Jeez, that was good. Really interesting. The evolution is really interesting. Forced evolution on you with the rule, but the bounce back and starting anew. I love that you did that. I think that's really, really smart. I'm sure there's a lot of specialized units that would love to start over in some ways, because of where they're at and the culture. And, this just was, it wasn't quite right. We were getting it done, but we had a variety of people doing it at different efforts. Some loved it, some are like, let's start anew and get the people that really want to do this.
Yeah, and again, that comes down to the same thing I just mentioned, having the attitude of just getting the task done.
Yes.
You want to throw a wrench in it? Great. What can you do to turn it into a positive?
Yeah.
And just never be the person sitting down complaining about it.
Yeah.
Just complaining does nothing.
No.
It brings down morale. It sets everybody back. If you just go, all right, that's the next task. I'm so matter of fact with everything. I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So what do you want? Okay, we'll do that. Here's how I'm going to do it. Let's get it done. Keep moving.
Yeah.
Can there be a positive added in this one? Yeah. You know what? Let's make it a good thing. Hopefully that'll help. We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
We've all got to push
like
forward.
it.
It is what it is.
So let's find out a little bit more about you, Nick, and about your unit and your agency. Start with you. Let's hear. How did you get into law enforcement?
I had a father who was a law enforcement officer for 40 years.
That'll do it.
That
was an easy answer, huh?
that was a big part of it. And and he did 30 years of them with the Broward Sheriff's Office.
Oh, good.
That was the end of his career there. We worked at the same agency for probably the last 15 years of his.
So you had
career,
15 years of overlap?
Math is hard. I don't
know.
I
didn't mean to put you on the spot because I hear people do it to me.
I don't know what year he retired. That's the problem.
But you did overlap where you were both
years.
in the same department for what?
Yeah.
Did you ever work in the same car together?
No.
Did you ever work on the same call or anything? Or
only if he came to visit, because let's be fair, this is a good chance to get a shot at my father. He didn't do real police work for the last one. He did, like, at the end of his career, he was doing crime prevention stuff and things like that.
Okay.
So, you know, I think it was mostly lunch. I don't know what he did.
But you
I
had
will say there was
overlap on the department, which is cool.
There was a couple of times that he had come by the district saying hello when he was coming through, and we'd get a priority call, and he'd pretend he was still a cop and stuff. So it was good times.
I want to be your table at Thanksgiving. I think it's
This
gonna
could
be
be
fun.
ugly.
I have a baby brother who is a Florida Highway Patrol trooper as well. And so adds to fun of family because I'm always asking, like, man, do you ever want to be a police officer?
No.
You don't want to?
So here we go.
We have
Here we
so
go.
much fun. We have
Speaking
so
of,
much fun.
Ixnay on the
I know. That's what's so much fun about it.
Where's your whistle?
Yeah, don't you have a whistle?
I do.
Aren't you required to carry that at all times?
No. That's my rape whistle. If I get in trouble, I don't think that's what it's for. I'm not really sure.
But it's come in handy.
So we had to make it a little bit fun, but the short answer, yes. Is by example.
Okay.
That's how I got on the law.
So that's how you got there. And was Broward your first agency, or did you go someplace else first?
Only place I applied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you knew. I want to be a cop. I want to be a deputy, and I want to be it here.
Yeah, against all advice. My father said to me, he gave me that fatherly advice, and he goes, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, you should go be a firefighter. He goes, or...
That's a good dad.
Or...
That's what I did. That's why my kid's a firefighter.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't listen. But he told me, and we're going to tell you another one here for you, either be a firefighter or get a real job.
Yeah.
But whatever you do, don't be a cop. And I was like, all right, great. I put it in my paperwork. So.
Oh, man. And so you end up at Broward. And what have you done? What other jobs have you done there leading up to where you're at today?
So when I first got hired, I applied to the Department of Detention to be a corrections deputy. I wanted to get a college degree, and I thought that going to the road, working midnights, and having court during the day and all would be a problem. Yeah. So part of my goal was I'm going to get in and we start the career over there with this agency, and I'm going to work in detention. So I did that for my first, I think, 2 years, and was going to school, got that associate's taken care of, and decided, you know what, I can't wait. I want to go chase bad guys. Yeah. So I put in for the road, got transferred out, worked road patrol for 6 years or so before being forced to become a detective. And I say that because it demonstrates literally what I've said. I am a terrible person to be an example for because I've had zero goals. I literally just wanted to chase bad guys. Like, that was it. And I had a criminal investigations sergeant who was like, hey, you should really come be a detective. Like, I like your work you do. And I was like, no, just want to chase bad guys, thanks. Said no to him a couple of times when he had openings. He finally made me. So that was like, all right, I guess I'm going to do this now. So they gave me the new task. Criminal investigations is what I did. Yeah. That was the bulk of my career.
Yep. And you had specialties within that. Was that right off the bat, or did you do burglars and thefts and things? Because you built into a very specialized area that I want you to talk about.
So I actually just added in specialties, never stopped the caseload as it was.
Oh, really? So you were doing the all-around detective job, and then you angled your expertise on your own?
Nope. Again, I'm a very task-oriented person with no goals. I just want to work. Yeah. So everybody knows in this job, if you put in the work, they will reward you with more work. And we all know it, right? But I don't mind because I actually like to work. So I went in, put in all the effort into my cases as they got assigned and did that kind of stuff. And I made sure that I continued to go to school on the side, finish my bachelor's up, do all that. And they ended up kind of finding that routine of if it plugs in, takes a battery, connects to the internet or anything, ask that guy. So eventually I ended up having a captain going, hey, we want you to go do some computer forensics training. And, we think we want you to be able to do some of that. It's like, okay, give me a task. I'll do the task. So I was like, all right, great. So started going through some of these NW3C courses, doing all these. And then next thing you know, I ended up finding a way to get more education over there with the Secret Service. So I ended up being on the United States Secret Service Task Force, the Miami Electronic Crimes Task Force with the Secret Service. And they do a bunch of great training up at the National Computer Forensics Institute. So ended up with the computer training there, mobile device training. So computer forensic examiner, mobile device examiner, just because it was tasks assigned.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, through my time over there, over, I don't know, 16, 17 years, whatever it is, again, math's hard, in criminal investigations, they gave me a DNA program to run. So they were like, hey, do me a favor, just be a DNA expert, and we're going to need you to come up with policies on how we're going to do it. Okay, no problem. So did that, did the computer stuff, led into the drone stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how I got where I'm at now, is because I just do the task. It's hilarious, but
it's like the Forrest Gump of law enforcement.
It kind of is. It really is.
And call Nick. Call Nick. He'll do that. That's kind of technical. Call Nick. Wow.
That is. It's what led through all of it. You know, I want to help people too, right? That's why we joined this job.
Yeah.
But I also extend that to the people sitting on my left and on my right when there's something they don't get. You know, if one of my detectives had, and I say that because like senior detective doing the thing, I help whoever I can, trained a bunch of them that came into. If they come to me and go, hey, I need to find this out, how do I do that? I'll do what I can to help them understand that, okay, so what you're going to need to do is you just quick subpoena to get the IP address on this. Once you have that IP address, you'll find the ISP. Make sure you shoot this over to the ISP, but you're going to go with the accounts, ask this, put this in there, do that, get it back. Once you have that, you'll at least have this. We'll go through, because if we sign that gateway, you'll go do it. Okay, got it? And they're like, mostly. Okay.
Mostly.
And then we'll go through it, right? But that's how all of it happens, is being willing to help people and being willing to put in the time and educate yourself.
Yep.
Education is a huge base of all of it, because that's what I do, dork stuff, right? I mean, all the way along. It's stuff that I don't mind learning, because I love learning, and aviation was the exact same thing.
Did you enjoy that computer forensic stuff?
Not really, no.
No.
No, I mean, we're all friends here.
You know, I had a feeling you were going to say that, actually. Honest to God, I did. Because I thought, man, you just seem like a go-get bad guys guy. And that, although that does get bad guys. Right.
It does. It absolutely does.
But it's in a more, it's not quite as exciting.
No.
Not quite as exciting as flying or being behind on a 30-foot long line behind a something that bites or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it put people in jail.
It did, and it does.
And those crimes put people in jail for a long time.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes. I mean, some of them are heinous, crimes. And the only way you convict them is because of people like you.
Yeah, so right? I will say, though, on that aspect, I got the training, I got the experience. I did things on cases, and I did help with the Secret Service cases and all that kind of stuff. But we have an amazing and tremendous ICAC unit down there as well. And that task force, they're the ones that are really doing that work and all.
Yeah.
Because I stayed in my criminal investigation side, and I would implement it in and around me for those types of things. But if we're talking about where the real hard work of computer forensics gets done, that gets done with our ICAC task forces and with our computer forensics lab that we now have that's phenomenal with amazingly talented people. I learned some stuff. There's people out there that are real experts. I'm just a guy who learned a bunch of stuff.
Well, tell us about Broward County Sheriff's size and not only the size of the department, but what you patrol and a little bit about Broward County.
Thank you to our sponsor, Becker Avionics. Becker Avionics, new 3D spatial audio will mitigate possible confusion in the cockpit by repeating the last 90 seconds of incoming messages broadcast over any two channels. Check out the new AMU 6500 at www.beckerusa.com.
So Broward County, South Florida, everybody knows Fort Lauderdale down there. Mm-hmm. That's one of the largest cities that people will be familiar with. We're a big county. I want to say something like 1,300 miles, if I'm right. If I'm not, Google will tell me I'm wrong. But two-thirds of it ends up being Everglades.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
2/3 of Broward County is Everglades.
Yeah, if you pop it up on a Google map, you'll see that big square covers coast out to almost the middle of the state.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Y'all seen Pulp Fiction? And you know how...
I think I've seen it once or twice.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken. I don't know where that's going.
Christopher Walken with the watch.
Yes.
I've been carrying this book around with me.
Not where he carried the watch?
No, I don't keister it.
Okay.
I got a backpack. So I got a backpack.
Thank goodness, Brian.
But Brian Smith is here.
Brian Smith, ladies and gentlemen.
Smith.
Brian with a Y.
I've got your book. I don't keister that one either.
Good, thank you.
It's in my backpack. I'm going to have you sign it later.
I will.
I told Brian I was going to keep carrying this backpack or this book around until I ran into him and he could sign it for me.
I carried this watch.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's great, Jeff. Where were we?
Brian Smith, everybody.
While we're talking about autographs, I have to tell you that I got here this week and I got a chance to get an autographed book by the one and only Jack here.
Yes,
so
I did.
That's cool.
For you,
that
Nick.
definitely
Yes.
the highlight of my week.
Oh, you're too kind. That's
I
very
get to
nice.
pretend I'm important people. I hang out with like real guys and legends. So
and a movie star.
very true. Very
Yes.
true.
Well,
John's
I
not
don't
movie
know.
star.
We
I
haven't
don't-
brought it up yet.
No, we
I don't know what
haven't,
you're
but-
talking about.
We've got Nightshade here with us.
Yes, by the time this comes out, there'll be 1 million clicks on Nightshade. No doubt about it. People will go, "Oh, Nightshade! Oh, that is Nightshade! Oh my gosh,
Did
that's
you
amazing."
copyright that, or
We don't know.
did Brian copyright
We don't
it?
know.
I mean,
Brian's probably making a fortune. We're not going to get a penny.
I heard he did it just for the tight suits.
Yes,
That's
he
all
loves
he was
that. I mean, that's unbelievable. He changed his. I must say, the Captain Fleur created from 10 years ago. Captain Fleur didn't have abs.
He's
And I
been doing a
noticed
lot of
last
sit-ups.
night, Captain Fleur's been eating raw eggs and doing sit-ups. I mean, he had a six-pack.
Yeah.
You know?
what you can do with AI these days is just amazing.
It's all built into the suit. I heard he wears it around the house. She was just saying
His,
every
his
day.
wife's here,
for weeks,
so she can confirm that. Carolyn confirmed. She's been in. As a matter of fact, in the original Captain Fleur, when he's standing looking in the mirror, and he's saying, "You talking to me?" and he's doing that, and then you hear, "You're an idiot." That's Carolyn, and that's in their house, and it made the cut. You're an idiot. And my first question to him was that spontaneous, or was that scripted?
Or was it routine?
I think it was routine. I'm pretty sure. She goes, "You're an idiot."
I
Wow,
know
you're-
statistically it would be routine in my house. You'd just hear her in the background.
So classic. So classic.
You're the man, Brian. Thank
That's
you, sir.
it?
Did you get one of these yet?
Yes, I did.
You got one? Okay.
That's it?
Wanted
You
to make
didn't
sure
write
got
a
one.
page or two for him?
He was a cop. I mean, he's not going to write like that.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, wait till you see what I write, Jeff.
I need to ramble on. I can express my feelings.
Okay.
I'm in touch.
Good to see you, Brian.
Good to see you too. Great job.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you.
Nightshade.
Okay. Yeah.
Nightshade. We're going to
important,
the
Jack.
psychologist later. Oh, my goodness.
Sorry, Rob. You got
Okay.
a lot of editing to do here.
No, he doesn't. This is the
Just
best
let it
stuff. This is
flow.
what the floor is
That's
all
it.
about.
Well,
you
you
know?
have to add an intro that explains all about Nightshade to anybody who might not be familiar.
That's
right.
with it.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm doing the intro.
There we go.
There you go.
This went downhill
This
fast.
will be
didn't it?
covered well. There will be photos with that intro.
John Nightshade Gray.
That's right. That's right.
Like a 50 Shades of Gray kind of.
That didn't take long to go there.
No.
That's a different
Not even
movie.
12 hours later.
different movie he did.
So we're back. Let's go back to Broward County is 2/3 alligator infested Everglades.
Yes,
Wow.
it is. So
I wouldn't have guessed that.
It's not where most of our calls for service are.
No, I'm
so
pretty
we'll
sure
go with
you're
that.
right. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's some mixture out there and all, but
But then it's pretty dense for that 1/3. It's densely populated, correct?
yeah, absolutely. You get to our levees and it's that to the coastline.
Yeah.
That is definitely a very, very populated area.
And the main cities, you kind of mentioned them in the airspace, but go through the main strip that we're talking about in Florida for people at home that are keeping score.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, Fort Lauderdale is the largest. They have their own police department. We don't service them, but contracted for police services from the Broward Sheriff's Office. I think Pompano Beach is probably our largest. There are over 100,000, right around 100,000 be Deerfield Beach.
Deerfield's yeah.
So these are ones that people probably have heard of.
Sure.
And then smaller ones that are around. We have 12. Well, let's hope I didn't get that wrong, but I think it's 12 contract cities.
Okay.
That we provide police services for, in addition to our unincorporated areas. And everybody needs an autograph from something. I need one from you. He needs one from him, and he needs one from him. We'll just keep going around the circle.
Brian, careful. He's going to push you down, and then you're going to
Your
become a
hip's going
villain.
to fall off.
Hold on. Shauna's got his auto
Here.
pin. And
Yes.
Complain about how little I wrote.
I I know. He's going to feel bad in a minute here.
That backfired.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Fantastic.
But
yes, those are some of our
those are the main
largest cities.
Yeah.
We've got a population of about 2 million down there in Broward. So it's
how
a
many,
large
how many
area.
deputies? I know that's hard. I know that's a day-to-day question now. It used to be that you would ask somebody, well, how many people are you in the department? Boom. They give you a number. And now, for the past 4 years, it's like, well, what day is it?
Yeah, right.
Today's Friday. Well, on Wednesday, we had this many. So where are you guys at?
It's such a hard thing. I'm not even sure that I know the answer. I know we have just under 6,000 employees, something like 5,600
including civilian employees
with all of our civilians.
Detention, everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we also, though, are a public safety agency, so we have Broward Sheriff Fire Rescue.
Oh.
So it's a unique circumstance down there where fire rescue is part of the sheriff's office. You see sheriff on the side of the fire engines.
Really?
Oh, wow.
And
are there? So let me stop you there because this is interesting.
You got it.
So as a deputy, are you also? Can you go back and forth, or are you designated?
Yeah,
in
we're
that lane?
separate. So we're all part of the sheriff's office, but we have
separate.
Department of Fire Rescue. Yeah, we didn't do that public safety thing where you change capes. And,
Right.
and go to a different.
There's not too many of those left.
No.
I'm trying to think of the one in Northern California. It's near San Jose. Help me here.
There was a few of the smaller departments that tried
They
it
still
for a while.
do. Sunnyvale.
Ontario Airport used to be like that.
Yeah.
Probably back before it went back to the city, right?
Yeah.
When it
Sunnyvale.
was Lawa. Oh,
Sunnyvale.
Sunnyvale.
You can actually switch this. I haven't been there in a while, but you could actually switch, not day to day, not month to month, year to year. Right. But you're doing the officer thing for a while, and you go, I need to change. I just need to change. You could switch over and do the fire side. Okay. And every one of them was EMT, and many were paramedic qualified, I believe. So you'd have cops showing up at scenes and doing first aid. It was kind of neat. They're saving lives doing that. They're not waiting for the paramedics to show up. They're doing compressions and stuffing wounds and doing things. But I was curious to see if it was like that or not.
No, we haven't quite done it that way.
Okay, good.
No,
that's probably best.
Yeah, just it is if it's me on there. I will tell you that. But I'll tighten your tourniquet and I'll pack a wound, maybe throw a chest seal on.
Yeah.
But after we get out of that combat stuff, you better make it safe for fire rescue to enter.
Yeah.
How things with retention and recruitment for you guys? Are you at where you want to be, or way short, or in between?
I think everybody right now in this space is short. Yeah,
Everybody's short.
I don't think there's such thing as anybody that's adequately staffed at the point. Not everybody's going to the career
But you're doing
like they
okay.
used to. So we're getting the job done. I can say that.
Well, that's good.
We can always improve on retention and getting more folks down. But yeah, we're meeting the mission.
Good. You kind of touched on it, but touch on it again. You just got kind of picked. You should be in this UAS program.
Mm-hmm.
When that was said to you, did you have any idea that it was going to lead to what you're doing now?
No, not a clue. Listen, it's a captain walking in going, "You're going to do this." I wasn't even sure I was actually going to do the thing he says.
Right.
That changes day to day, right? Where it's like, actually, here's never mind. So there was really not anything on that. I got the, "Hey, you're going to do this." Like, all right, great. Let me know when that comes up. And I went back to the job. Fast forward, I actually ended up seeing a guy with a drone. And I go, "I'm supposed to do that. Why do you have one? What's happening?" I was like, am I going to get in trouble? Did I miss something? Oh, no. And hilarious on how things went, the evolution of training, all those things. They go, "I don't know, call this guy." And they give me some guy. Never heard of him before. They're like, "Christian Sandberg, that's his name. Call him up. Get into the class." I was like, "Well, all right, that's fine." So I call him up. He's a road patrol deputy. No idea who he is. And I call him up, all my criminal investigations experience, calling some road patrol guy going, "Help me get a drone. I don't know what I'm doing." And he goes, "Hey." And I was like, "Hey, I'm supposed to do the drone thing with the stuff to fly with the thing." And he was like, "Yeah, the class is in 2 weeks." And I was like, "All right, I need to be in that class because the captain said so." And he was like, "Yeah, so you have to get your Part 107 remote pilot certificate before the class." And I was like, "Oh, okay, so where do I get that?" And he was like,
Is there a store for those?
Yeah.
That's literally my response. I was like, "Where do I get it?" So is it a mail order thing? Like, what do I
Amazon.
I have no idea what you're talking about. And he was like, "No, it's a remote pilot certificate. It's from the FAA. It's a pilot certificate. You have to actually go to a flight school and you have to pass an exam. You have to." And I was like, "All right, I got it. 107. What else do I need to do?" And he was like, Nothing, man. Just grab that 107 and I'll see you in the class. Call me back when you got it. I was like, all right, cool. So it turns out this Row Patrol deputy is the rotor wing pilot I mentioned, CFII, whole nine. So I really look exponentially ridiculous to him on this phone call. But I also had been given a task.
Yeah.
So there's a theme here.
Yes, sir.
And I was like, all right, I got Google, man. Life's easy these days. Like, come on. So I pull it up, and I was like, all right, so that's a lot of regulations. There's sectional charts, aviation weather, learn a little about dew point convergence. So I can calculate density, altitude. I can do this. All right, no problem. Studied for a couple days. I think it was like 2 days. I called up a flight school literally like the next day, and I was like, hey, I need to make an appointment to take that 107. So they laughed at me too. This is how it started, right?
That's right.
Like we talk about, like people just get thrown into stuff and all, and so they were like, "You're what?" I was like, "The 107." They're like, "The part 107." I was like, "Yeah, whatever part that was."
Yeah, 107, 107.
Throw one of those in there too.
Sure.
Whatever.
Is there another part? The guy only told me about the 107. What are we talking about? And he was like, "Okay, when do you want to schedule it for?" And I was like, "I don't know. What are you doing?" And he was like, this is a test. Like you have to schedule a time. This was before you had to do all the scheduling online and everything and all that. So I'm on the phone with a guy who gets to firsthand get to mock the ignorance. And so he's like, I can do like 11 tomorrow, I guess. And I was like, all right, cool. 11 o'clock, 107. See you then. And this guy's like, great. This will probably be a repeat customer a few times. And I think we're paying $150 a pop. So let's make it happen.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I studied. I went in. I passed my test. Call back this Row Patrol deputy. And I'm like, hey, I got the part 107. What now? And, of course, he's stunned. He's like, this special guy actually went and did it? And he's like, okay, yeah. No, but you really have it?
Yeah.
Like you okay. I'll put you in the class.
Okay.
And went to the class and joined. That's kind of how we started.
And here we are. You're getting an award.
It's
a 107 award.
It is.
The APSCON 107 award. That's what it should be named.
I have no shame. I'd like to highlight the ignorance that I had coming into it because, again, it comes back to those things of task orientation.
Yeah.
Right? Are you putting in the effort?
Yep.
And so I did. Now, I say I went home for a day or two and read, but they were busy. They were busy times. I put in a lot of effort into reading it. Now, I had a little bit of a head start. I had a buddy that was a CFI, so I'd spent some time in a fixed wing and hanging out and floating around. So at least familiarity with the fact that there was airspace and, some ATC stuff and things like that. So it made it a little easier that not your average person is probably going to, with nothing at all, going to just walk in and be able to do. But yeah, it was a pretty funny turnaround.
Yeah. Wow, that is great.
That's an awesome story.
And we're laughing, and our listeners know we're not laughing at Nick on this because we've been there. Yeah. I mean, no, because we've all been there. Aviation, not everybody, but in law enforcement aviation, there's a lot of them. I'm one. I didn't know anything, and I was probably calling all sorts of things by the wrong cool term, the right correct term. So that wasn't unusual, and I imagine, especially when you're given it. There's no way. I mean, you just go, oh, how would you know it's part 107? No, it's 107. That's where. So,
I mean, I knew the numbers.
Sure.
At least I got the right digits.
Yeah,
okay,
that's an advantage. That's great. Shift gears a little bit. We've touched on some of this already. The manned-unmanned relationship and the fact that you're under the man command. That how the beneficial that is. But let's talk about your specific benefits. First of all, the building relationship between manned pilots and the aviation unit with a UAS unit. We've touched on that, but what do you think the number one, if you have to pick one thing that would benefit units to be part of the manned operation as part with UAS, what would it be?
Safety culture.
Safety culture. There you go. Yeah. Expand. Go ahead. Run with it.
Super easy answer on that one.
Whether your mission is saving lives or servicing high-value assets, Onboard Systems Hoist stays ready to assist. Features such as single-point payout, reduce the potential for hoist-induced load swings, enhancing overall safety. For more information, go to hoist-winch.onboardsystems.com.
Operationally, it's been great. When we first started our unit, our chief pilot was like, yeah, no, that's great. You guys play with your things. And the minute if we're coming in, on the ground. That was your directive. Nope, on the ground, fine. Yeah. So those relationships starts to build all the possibilities and all that. But number one, by all means, is forget what you can do, what you're doing. Safety. Is that instead of having somebody who comes in with just a law enforcement mindset, you put them into that culture, because hopefully your air wings, your aviation, whatever you want to call your unit, hopefully that has that same culture, whether it's going to be because it's ingrained in an SMS or because, it's just right. We see that, right? We're all here taking time out to come to this kind of stuff to do the mission and to do it safely. And that's the biggest thing you have in aviation. That culture you don't find anywhere else.
Right. Yeah.
And to be able to try to relay that to somebody who isn't part of it, who isn't in it, you just can't. You can't teach a culture. You can try, but you either are participating in a culture or you're aware of a culture, and there's a very big difference between the immersion in it and taking that mindset through the program. You don't get CRM and you don't get airspace awareness, and you don't get a real focus on what it is you're doing, and you don't get the trust without making sure that that's built that way. I want my people who are actually putting something on the line, right? I have a pilot and a TFO that have skin in the game. I don't. They're the ones that need to be my priority on safety. And so does everyone else. Yeah. Whether it's your wife on a flight, or whether it's you out on a sightseeing tour, or whether it's my air crew in the orbit, that national airspace awareness and safety is what really needs to be the number one thing, and that's the benefit we receive by immersing in that culture.
That's gold, Nick. Really good.
Culture is what we talk about all the time. If you have a bad culture, you've got a bad unit. And it takes a lot of intentionality to create a good culture, to develop a good unit that's effective, that's efficient, that does all the things that we want it to do. It's a lot of work. I commend you for, furthering that culture of your aviation program into the drone side of things, because it is the same thing. I love that you guys are housed together and you've built this joint culture. That is really cool. I hope people that are listening implement and take what you've done and try and apply that to where they are, because that's exactly what we envision as being a successful operation.
Yeah, it should be. And again, most of the credit on this stuff goes to the guy I mentioned, Christian Sandberg, who put in the effort on road patrol, and he actually had my job. When they first started it, I was just a unit trainer with him, but he was running. He was the guy teaching the class. Got there, had everything set up. It just so happened that when he got there, they were like, "Hey, you fly helicopters? Do you want to fly this one?" So he moved over to a pilot role, and they moved me into taking over the unit. I already had a great foundation, and I had learned so much from him. I got there, and I have just that wealth of expertise around me. So the credit really goes to those people that put in that work in the beginning to make sure we started off on a good foot, at least on the baseline. Even if the unit didn't grow the way we wanted to and all, they got it where it needed to go. They got the aviation thing down. They got us over there. And then from there, the support of command and everyone to just keep it going in that right direction. So all of our air crews are fantastic, great friends, and we've done amazing things just to build those relationships and get that off on the right foot.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy for us to forget, especially when we're on this floor for a week, that the vast majority of law enforcement officers in America do not have any of this to support them.
Yeah.
No. We lose track of that sometimes because we take it for granted. Our department's had it for years. I mean, you came on the job and, hey, there's a helicopter. It was a given, So that's why this UAS stuff has become so popular, because it allows so many more to get involved. But some of them, what we're talking about, the integration, some of them don't have to worry about that. There is no integration. But when it comes to training, they all have access. I don't care where you are. There's a law enforcement air asset somewhere in your region that you could go to for information. And what troubles me is that many of them don't do that. Again, I'm going back to you. You guys are doing it. You've done it from the beginning. Talk about that, about how important that is to you And what advice would you give those units that aren't in an urban area of Southern Florida and Fort Lauderdale that are out there in other parts of the country, but they could maybe, drive to their, to the troopers or to the troopers, even the troopers, or they could drive to the aviation assets to learn. What advice would you give them?
I appreciate that, Jack.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's a fantastic thing. So you know what? That's actually a lot of how I even got involved in any of the other stuff as well, is finding somebody with a question and finding people with answers.
Yeah.
And how I got involved in APSA to begin with, and how I got involved with the Drone Responders Florida Coordination Group. Those things were born out of that necessity. Mm-hmm. I know how lucky I am.
Yes.
And not everybody sits in a hangar with a manned aviation unit that can answer things that come up and all that. Now, in all fairness, that's helpful for a lot of the aviation side stuff, or maybe airport operations, or if you got something that pops up you're unsure of. It's not super helpful in drone stuff.
Yeah.
There's a problem, because they all have no clue.
Right.
Every one of them will call me when they're like, I don't know, drone thing.
They're not one of them 107 guys.
No, not at all. And you know what the funny thing is even those guys who went ahead and did the quick 107 add-on, they got through it. But it's so easy to add the 107 to a manned certificate that you don't necessarily get. You get some of the rates, you get a couple of things and all, but you're not going to understand all of it,
right?
Or what's going on with it, or operations, or any of that kind of stuff, which many would say is a complaint of the Part 107 to begin with. But as you go through those type of things, any resource is something you need to really seek out. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if you folks see it, but I'm going to tell you, I think that's something we lack in law enforcement in general, is self-motivation to educate.
Yeah.
And I think you've talked about this before too, where you say, I got out of the academy and they didn't teach me how to do a perimeter. They didn't teach me how to do the containment. Some old guy did.
That's right.
Right? That's what happened. We pass on that knowledge. You find it from somewhere. Well, if we have a new thing that there isn't anybody else around that has it, you got to find it. And you got to educate yourself. You have to take the time to reading, to learning, to understanding. And that's where some of these things come in. Having resources like the Airborne Public Safety Association, making network connections, right? You can come to APSCON. It's not going to teach you how to run your unit all year long. It's not going to answer the questions you have. Making contacts there, we all know that's 75% of your trip to APSCON, is to shake a few hands and copy some emails and numbers, because when you got that question, it's there. And that's literally how I got into that Florida Coordination Group stuff down there, because when I had questions about the grant stuff that I was going through and the law changes and all of that, I met this group that was starting up, and I had a guy that was from Florida Highway Patrol that runs their program, Rob Dooley. He had some answers. He was doing the Tallahassee thing, and I was like, great, this will be helpful. And I put in my effort, did his effort. When he said, hey, we should go up to Senate, I made it happen to go talk to the Senate about the law changes. And pretty quickly he was like, hey, you seem to be a team player here, and you actually know some stuff. Want to come help? And I was like, I guess. So I was given a task and joined the leadership with them, and that's now become a great resource. Problem you have is whether or not somebody's going to seek it out.
Yes.
Put in the time, effort, and energy to seek out the education.
It's there.
Yeah. And if anybody in the law enforcement community, I wish we could stress that to the younger guys too, is you don't join and know your couple of state statutes that you use all the time and call it a day. You find some people now that been in the game a while and are still a little confused about case law, stuff. And we need to better ourselves.
Yeah. Deep or dive,
whether it's
all the way.
Law enforcement, aviation, whatever it is, whatever you do, and whatever your particular skill is, doesn't even limit to what we do, but put in the effort, better yourself. Education and effort is really, I think, what makes the difference.
Yeah. You talked about it earlier, but stealing, policies and manuals from other agencies and stuff. I mean, we've been doing it for years on the man side. I mean, LAPD, for instance, you go to their tactical flight officer course, and they'll give you every one of their manuals on digits, and for units that are either want to improve, their standardization, or maybe don't have it, or are creating a unit. You don't have to start from scratch.
Right.
Somebody else has already done this work. You can now take it, make it your own, and suit it to your mission and your environment. And that's what we love about this industry, and APSCON is where you make those connections and build those relationships and go to those different training events with other agencies and coordinate that kind of stuff. And that's what this is all for sure.
I can't tell you how many copies I've sent of my SOPs.
That's it.
And I keep it on a cloud drive.
They are coming to you now. Once your name gets out there and you're getting on some of these work groups and stuff, and next thing you know, people are calling you for exactly what Jeff's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it might be from all of the training around different places in the country, or my Florida group, or the bathroom stalls my number's written on. I don't know. Somebody's getting my number, but it just gets passed along. And again, I just want to help. I want to see everybody do better. And for those people that take the time to reach out, ask questions, I will take all of the time in the world. I've got a lieutenant in Northwest Florida. He's called me several times. Like, hey, I got this event coming up. What do I do with that? What do you do with this? What can I do? I've stayed on the phone for 2 hours at a time before on a day off. Just got out of the shower, standing in a towel. Yeah. Because if he's taking the time to ask the question, I'll do what I can to help him.
There you go.
That's so cool.
Yep. And this particular community of aviation, I think, does it as good, if not better, than any other within law enforcement. Yeah. There's canine and SWAT and bomb stuff and detective stuff. I get that, but what I've seen myself and what we have all talked about is how this community in particular really does a good job at that.
I'll agree with that.
And the fact that you become a part of that now as a source, as a resource that people can come to, you should be very proud of that. That's a good sign if somebody's calling you, and talking to you for 2 hours, that you're doing things right because they want to improve themselves.
Or they have bad decision making.
That could be too.
Fine.
That's a possibility.
But it is, you're right. It's funny because depending on the particular discipline, you'll find a lot of no, that's mine other places.
Oh, yeah.
I did the work. I made the book. I wrote the SOP. I did this. And so coming to these types of things, and so I will say I've noticed that in the aviation community. I've been here a long time, 25 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, and I don't think I have seen that type of collaboration, willingness to share. Be like, yeah, we put in the effort. You take it, run with it, make it yours, but I'll help where I can.
Yeah, that's what I love about this industry.
Yeah. In investigations, I don't know if this was your experience, and I wasn't a detective, but doing gang graffiti investigations, I felt like there was a lot of, this is mine. I don't want you to know the details of my investigation because you might take advantage of it in a way that makes me look bad. And I come to aviation, and it was the exact opposite. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Everybody's working, and they're pulling in the same direction. Everyone's sharing everything. I'm like, wow, this is an amazing community.
Admitting mistakes.
Yeah, like all this stuff.
There's classes built on mistakes, right?
Yeah.
We've all attended them.
The just culture is something that's totally foreign to the regular law enforcement culture.
I'm not trying to throw rocks at investigations because it's not all like that, but there was some of that, and that's part of the culture of law enforcement outside of aviation. So
I'd agree with your assessment 100% because and it's not everywhere, but we've made strides. Right, everybody tried to make strides on the communication interoperability stuff. We had large changes after 9/11 where people tried to, even at the federal, state level, see what we could get done. It's still very much a work in progress. Yeah. But even our regional stuff that we put together for investigations, intelligence, things like that, there's always a couple of departments that aren't showing up. Yeah. They don't have anything to say to you about it. They don't want to share. They went, and sometimes even within an agency from one door down to the next, they're like, nah, that's mine.
Yeah. Yep. Weird. Yep.
So I agree with that assessment. And it is a completely different community when you come to the aviation community.
I've said it many times. The people that really, really need to read the articles, go to the classes, read the books, that really need it, they're the ones that don't do it. Yeah. They're the ones that go, I don't need that.
Yep.
I don't need to read about that. I don't need to hear about that. Well, yeah. Then when you talk to people around them, they go, that's the person that needs it the most. Yeah. And that happens over and over. We are all thinking of names right now. Right this minute, you're thinking of names. Oh, I remember that. That person, that's how they are.
All right, quick, say them on 3.
Hold on, I got to see.
Hold on, I got to look around. It's going to take you a little while.
And I got to look around.
Grab a backpack over here.
Are they in
Don't say them, just point. I see them walking over there. That's not.
I'm not going to mention any names. Just going to point and whistle. You know, it's like, wow.
Sorry, he's right over there.
Well, we're running out of time, but I do want to get this important question. And if you could influence one big change nationally overnight, you are the king of UAS starting right now, and you could influence one thing in the UAS community nationally. Nationally.
You got to do the sound.
What would it be?
It's a tough one.
It is. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but there's got to be something that, yes, there's got to be something that bothers you or bugs you or drives you crazy. You go, man, if I could be king for the day, that change that. What would it be in UAS community?
Thank you to our sponsor, Wysong Enterprises. Wysong Enterprises offers specialty rotorcraft completion facility, focusing on solutions and installs for customers in various industries, including EMS, law enforcement, energy utility, forestry, tourism, security, and corporate applications across major OEM platforms. Visit us at wysongusa.com.
I mean, I have a list.
I know
Obviously,
you do.
I don't like to, and not a complaint list, but like a here's what I would love to see to further the mission and improve things. But I think from all of my travels and discussions, I'm going to give the same answer. It would be safety culture.
Okay.
It would just
That's
be
fair enough.
To make that something that became pervasive in the culture, so that those folks that are coming out to start that mission don't start from the how am I going to get these pictures of this crash scene, and that we change that starting point of, well, I want to go as high as I can to get this angle of that, and instead we start from the other end.
Yeah.
All right, how am I going to make sure that I'm safely conducting the operations that I would like to approach? And if we could kind of reverse that, I think you just see such a change with the integration, with the cooperation, and to start to build it all together. Because I think manned units, if they realized and saw and actually had that as the starting point for all of these units that are coming out, you're going to see a big difference in the response and reaction. Because as you learn that it's a complement, it's not a competition.
Right.
It is 100% a complementary tool, and it is not in any way competitive to that mission. And that's what it is. I always made a joke with my guys that come in. And I told them, I go, we are the aviation CSAs. So for us, that'd be the community service aides, the individuals. We have civilians that for law enforcement on the street, they can go handle an accident. They can take a delayed report. They can do some things that the police officers are going to be freed up from. And that's what I get to do. I come out here and I go, well, we're going to go handle some of these things that the helicopter can get freed up from.
Yeah.
That's our starting point. And then we'll do all these other jobs they can't do.
Good.
So
I like it. And last but not least, we got to talk about your perspective on what's next, the future. You can stick with Broward if you want, or you can just look at UAS overall. What's next on the horizon that you see that us three dumb helicopter pilots have no clue about? I know there's technology, there's things. Is there something that jumps out at you?
First of all, how come he giggled so much when he said dumb helicopter
Because he knows
pilots?
it's true. He knows there are three dumb pilots that are sitting here with him. Remember, he works around pilots, John.
He's at the hangar. He sees what happens.
Yes,
he knows what happens.
exactly what's going
Like
on.
childcare.
It's the way it goes. I guess when we take a look at how things are lining up, everybody sees the DFR stuff that you mentioned. Those drones as first responder programs, people are really heavy on. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and you may want to edit it out, but I'm not in love with them because I think so many people are skipping ahead to missing all of the mission sets that they are doing. Now, if you just have an unlimited budget and you want to be able to throw a camera overhead, great. Also, maybe I'll apply to that department as a second one. But if you're reprioritizing assets for it at the moment and not getting your core missions done, I don't know.
Understood.
And that's just me. And every vendor around will hate me for that because that's their big push.
Right.
But we have so much work to do to get things right with the initial steps, like you talked about, too big, too fast. So that is one thing. But I do think that the largest space that we are probably going to need to be concerned about is not so much the UAS, but the counter UAS.
Yes.
Because we're all in the space of protecting people.
Right.
And we're way behind the curve on that.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Even for people who are forward-looking, want to put in the effort, are aware of it, know what the regulations are, do what they do, you have zero authorities. So the good news is we're making some traction with our discussions. People are thinking about it now and starting to talk, and hopefully we get something done before it becomes something in the papers that we're responding to instead of preparing for. But, for now, hopefully people take the right steps, start doing what they can on the education side with the public and things like that. I mean, I'm lucky enough, again, I'm in a giant area down there. I do a lot of weird things in groups and talks and teaching and doing. So I've been lucky enough that I talk to my LEAP agent down there from the FAA like daily, made friends with the Federal Air Marshal at the airport assigned down there, work with them on their detection systems responses. I'm putting in the effort because we don't have systems to do all this stuff, right? So it's another one of those, I'm making it up because we need to make it happen. So we're making up some of that stuff, building our own little teams of people down there, trying to get everybody together on how we're going to at least do what we can right now within the framework legally. But those are going to be some of the biggest leaps that are going to really just change the shape of thing as regulations start to go with the FAA on things, is going to be the counter side and how people start doing all this beyond visual line of sight stuff and making it happen.
Good stuff, Nick. Jeff.
I think, appreciate you coming on the podcast and talking about this stuff. I think it's going to probably trigger a lot of conversations in different units, that listen to this podcast. I think one of the things was, Jack kind of brought it up. There's manned units maybe in a state where, they're not going to necessarily always coordinate or work with this small agency that might have a UAS program, and hopefully that'll maybe trigger those guys in these manned units to reach out to these small agencies that might have a one-man UAS unit to maybe start talking about some coordination and stuff. I see it in Tennessee where I'm at. Our Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has a robust, UAS program. We work with them, and a lot of these small agencies are getting them, and we're very proactive in integrating with them, and knowing that, hey, when we show up overhead, we're not going to tell you to put your drone on the ground, but these are the parameters we'd like to see, and we'll stay above this altitude, you stay below this, and everybody can work together. Hopefully it'll trigger some of those conversations, and it might even trigger a conversation of, hey, let's bring the UAS program under the umbrella of the aviation unit in those agencies that have it, because I think it's really worked out well for Broward County.
Yeah, so, I would agree with that. And conversation is what it's all about. Again, we talk about relationships and building that type of thing and all. And, there's certain things that you can automatically build into your program, even if you're not a part of the aviation unit. But to be able to start just thinking about it and getting an idea of those cultures, maybe talking to people that you can get in contact with. But it's the simple things, too. Like in our SOP, you're required, if you are one of my UAS guys and you're on a call and that helicopter's inbound, there's steps you have to follow. You must establish positive communication, and then you will operate at the sole discretion of the air crew. And if you are going to continue operating, you will receive a maximum allowable altitude for the duration of the event, unless otherwise assessed and changed by the air crew. Simple steps. That does not take much.
No.
And when it gets into your workflow of knowing that that's how you do, you don't have to take a long time to do that, but it becomes the thing that you do. Then they roll in, you hear them en route, and you go, hey, for us, helicopters Papa 1, you go, hey, Papa 1, currently operating 150 feet. You good with that? Yep. You're fine.
And that's the same thing we've been doing for years in Southern California with the media ships, with multiple agency pursuits and stuff is, hey, we got a common air traffic frequency, we, air to air, we talk on, we coordinate, we, make sure we got our altimeter settings all the same, and then everybody does what they need to do, and, we deconflict, and that's what it comes down to, is that quick conversation to deconflict, and you're golden.
On that, do you guys find yourself monitoring the air-to-air frequencies on the ground for that instant direct communication with manned aviation at all?
Certain operations, yes. So when I have my long-term operations that we're out and about doing Overwatch for large events, things like that, I'll be there for 8-12 hours. I have my airband on and I keep one in the special events kits for my guys when I send them out to those long-duration things. Oftentimes, if we're just operating in and around, no, because it's an additional thing that you're not generally going to do it. Because you would really only need it if you need to be able to establish that air-to-air with media when they come on scene, things like that. So for me, it's usually going to get, if media's en route and on scene, I might click on, especially some of those guys that are a little more aggressive, and start coming in for that 250-foot shot, and I'm in the middle of operating a scene and all. They've all been great so far, but I will try and establish positive contact with non-related air assets and go, hey, just so you know, we're down here operating UAS on the operations. We'll obviously yield a manned aircraft, but if you're able to get what you need by pushing out a little, and they're like, yeah, what do you want? We'll give you a half mile, and everybody works together. Again, aviation community for the most part pretty good.
Yeah. Wow. There's been a lot you've talked about that I've learned from. Thanks for joining us. A lot of thoughts went through my head, from our conversation, which is great. The conversations that you were talking about, Jeff, that hopefully this stimulates is what I look forward to. I'll apologize in advance. I'm hoping you get a lot of email requests. A lot of people being like, hey, let me tap into your expertise, because you definitely have that. Yeah. One of the things you talked about, which I really love, is standards. You talked about safety a lot, and we talked about this with Kevin, LAPD's chief pilot. He talked about how sometimes people are willing to lower their standards to meet staffing requirements. He talked about the opposite of that. You went from having 40 drone operators to 3, if I remember correctly, because he said, nope, this is the standard. I don't need 40 people that can kind of do the job. I need 3 that can. I think that's a lesson to be learned by agencies across the world. So
3 was based on the airframe availability on that one. We've grown back up to 10 now, but I'm also taking my time. I'm not right. People put in. As they put in, we conduct interviews and assessments. I only selected so many out of the last group. Those people went through my 80-hour class and have joined the unit. Then we're not just giving them a drone and throwing them out there either. They get done. We're doing monthly training. They're required to attend. They also have to get signed off, like I mentioned it. Before you go fly warrants on your own, you're going to fly them. They go to things with me. Then I go and watch them. Then I go, okay, you guys are all good to go. So all these little things. Matter of fact, the last group that came through, it's been 8 months. I think it was, since that class. And I just a month ago said, you are now actually allowed to follow that policy and ask for permission to fly with the aircrew. Because I want my aircrews to have that confidence that I'm not even letting them. I picked them.
Yeah.
And I'm not letting them.
Right.
Again, all about getting to that kind of stuff. So I'm liking the direction.
Yeah. Those standards, setting those standards and abiding by those standards are key. Yeah. So commend you for doing that. It's easy to be like, again, we really need these bodies to fill these seats. Mm-hmm. But you're like, nope, I'm not doing that. And I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, the whole crawl, walk, run, kind of mentality.
We're trying.
Well, I did this yesterday with Mike Sill, and I think it's a good thing to do again. I have in my hands here the nomination from someone on your department. And
I don't think I've even read this.
Well, it's really impressive. I'll give it to you, as a matter of fact, Nick, when we're done here. But I'm just going to read the last paragraph. Romano's work reflects a forward-thinking, boy, we saw that today.
Yeah.
Romano's work reflects a forward-thinking, detail-driven approach that continues to strengthen public safety UAS operations. In summary, Deputy Nicholas Romano's leadership, expertise, and ongoing impact on UAS development make him a standout nominee for the 2025 Unmanned Aerial Systems Award. The Broward Sheriff's Office is proud to recommend Deputy Romano for this prestigious honor. And we've learned in the past 2 hours that that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. You've done a lot in a very short period of time in the big scheme of things with a rapidly evolving expertise. And you've done a great job with it. And your foresight, I love that they mentioned the forward thinking. You have good foresight, Nick, and that's required in police work. And it's a rare thing in many departments. So, and the last thing that I'll just say is I love that your command trusted you multiple times. And I hope they continue to do that. And I hope they apply that philosophy to K-9 and SWAT and anything specialized, because let's face it, the experts are not always the people that control the budget, and they're not always the people that have the rank. They have a job to do. But when it comes to learning what do you need and what do you want and how are we going to do this, they should be looking to people like you. And they're lucky that they have someone like you that is so task-oriented that you run with it. But like you said, it's going to create more work. The more they'll listen to this, some of these people, and they go, "Hey, we can give him a couple more projects here." What do we got in the wings here? So I'll just end by saying thank you for joining us. Congratulations on this award. Enjoy the dinner tonight for your recognition, and we're really glad that you agreed to join us for a little bit and educate us. You know, we walk away from every podcast educated, but some more than others. This is a big one because this is still new and still foreign to a lot of manned, and you're trying to bridge that gap. So hopefully this podcast will help do that for others.
I do hope that's the case. I thank you guys very much for having me, for listening, and for going out. I mean, the award thing, there was no task involved, so I didn't even notice it.
Well, somebody had the task to write that up, and they did a good job. So
I am very fortunate, though. I want to thank you guys and my command, as always, for all the things that they've done to allow it.
Kudos to them.
Can't get this stuff done without the support.
I'm serious about that. Kudos for them. Not all command does that, do they, guys?
No.
I mean, they just don't. And good leaders do. Yeah. Really good quality leaders do depend on their expertise. There are subject matter experts out there like you. So good for them. And with that, it's last day. We're wrapping things up. We'll be tearing things down in a little bit. Going on a flight with Dave Salem here in an MD-530F. That'll be great.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
Isn't it awful?
Jeez.
My second time in an MD.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. And I can't wait. So, Jeff,
I'm not jealous.
No.
Jeff's a longtime MD addict.
Yes.
Yeah.
Recovering.
Man. Yeah, I know. If I went now, I'd be just off the wagon again, man.
Jeff,
you don't got any more of them MDs around here?
Thanks for joining us this morning. It was great.
Always a pleasure.
Nightshade, great job. It's always this is the first time that we're publicly talking about Nightshade on the podcast, and
hopefully Brian will put the video up, soon.
It's going up quick.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really good about that. It'll be out there well before this, but it'll be out there soon.
Good.
And then the world will know who Nightshade is.
Beautiful thing.
And how much psychological help he needs. So I
think your son stole the
he did.
That was the best acting in the whole thing.
It was. He was incredible.
Yeah.
The
Academy
Academy Awards during
transition
spring.
from his face to your face, and you guys look so much alike. It's just like it was perfect.
Little mini me.
When we told Brian, he said, I need a kid to do this, and we said, John has a son that looks just like him, right? Oh my gosh! And boom,
it was
sold.
Yeah,
and he did great. Yeah. We're so proud of him. That's great. So with that, thanks everybody for listening. As always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave us a critique. We always like hearing from you. And everyone that listens or watches, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Hangar Z podcast.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Hangar Z podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to hear more stories that promote the personnel and equipment behind the missions in public safety aviation. Lastly, stand by for a message after a word from our sponsors. Cheers.
Thank you to our sponsor, Wysong Enterprises. Wysong Enterprises offers specialty rotorcraft completion facility, focusing on solutions and installs for customers in various industries, including EMS, law enforcement, energy utility, forestry, tourism, security, and corporate applications across major OEM platforms. Visit us at wysongusa.com.
Whether your mission is saving lives or servicing high-value assets, Onboard Systems Hoist stays ready to assist. Features such as single-point payout reduce the potential for hoist-induced load swings, enhancing overall safety. For more information, go to hoist-winch.onboardsystems.com.
Thank you to our sponsor, Becker Avionics. Becker Avionics, new 3D spatial audio will mitigate possible confusion in the cockpit by repeating the last 90 seconds of incoming messages broadcast over any two channels. Check out the new AMU 6500 at www.beckerusa.com.
Thanks for listening to the Hangar Z podcast. We really enjoyed our conversation with Nicholas Romano. He is a very dedicated professional and a well-deserved recipient of this year's APSA UAS Award. Manned and unmanned integration is something we will continue to talk about on the Hangar Z. Drones are here to stay, and the numbers in law enforcement grow each and every day. The more we learn about each other's operations, the more effective we will be, and that increases safety dramatically. Congratulations to Nicholas Romano on receiving this award. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review. We appreciate your continued support. Stay safe, and we'll catch you the next time on the Hangar Z podcast.